Story 1. I would give peace of mind to every person silently battling something. Imagine what the world would look like if no one was running on empty inside. Story 2. Give every country a stable, democratic, progressive government that truly cares about its people. Story 3. I know I am supposed to say something altruistic, but the first thing I thought of was to teleport to Paris and eat all the pastries I want for the whole day. Story 4. Disappear for about 3 weeks with no phone, no email, just good food and sleep somewhere quiet near water. Story 5. As a Ukrainian, you all know who I would remove from the world, and I do not mean just a single certain person. Story 6. I would give myself the power to change reality as I saw fit. There would be no more wars, no more poverty, no more sickness, no more greed, no more murder or rape. Basically, no more major evils. I would also give myself an ice cream with a chocolate flake. Story 7. Clear my debt, leave my messy, embarrassing home with disorganized cousins, get access to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder medication treatment, and find a job where I do not have lengthy and expensive commutes for an unpleasant boss. I appreciate that they say life is about the journey and not the destination, but I am tired. Story 8. The power would be to fly, be immortal, and invulnerable. I would fly off this planet and explore the cosmos. Earth is wild right now. Story 9. Would require administrator mode, but you did not specify that I could not. Make everyone older than 21 be 21 again. They do not regress or forget anything. They are just younger. Make everyone perfectly healthy. All illnesses, disabilities, disfigurements, and diseases are instantly cured. Tooth enamel now regenerates. Telomeres now regenerate. Story 10. Selfish thought. Bring my old dog Rosie back to life. She left me way too soon and loved me more than anything. Altruistic thought. Reduce the global geopolitical heat index by about 80%. Story 11. Control people's minds right at this moment and tell them to end every ongoing war. And definitely take away power from the United States president. Story 12. Take all the billionaires' money and put it into a big pot. Then make them earn it all back by working medical, at-will jobs with micromanaging, incompetent bosses at minimum wage. Story 13. Redistribute the wealth and provide food and education to as many people as possible so empathy replaces greed as the dominant motivational factor for humanity. Story 14. Remove the former president, his malevolent assistant, and the smirking Speaker of the House to warm, secluded Guantanamo Bay for a much-needed rest. Story 15. Be independently wealthy, like billionaire wealthy, so I could do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted and never work again unless I chose to. Story 16. Distribute all the wealth and land in the world equally to every honest person. Criminals and billionaires would receive considerably less for obvious reasons. Story 17. Fix all issues, and then get everyone to celebrate with a beer or other drink in the sunshine together. Every neighborhood in the world could have a community barbecue and party. No one works the next day. Story 18. I would be reincarnated into another world and enjoy the best life. I do not care if others suffer. It is just a spice of my greatest life. Story 19. Turn back time and handle some things that happened a little differently. Take back some things I have said in the past. I would have ended my marriage a lot sooner instead of letting it deteriorate into what it is now. I would have lived my life more for myself instead of being expected to be one version of myself for everyone else's benefit. Story 20. Remember the South Park episode when Cartman got the brain implant so he couldn't swear? But for hate speech and violence. Story 21. I would do nothing. Absolutely nothing. I would sit still for just one solitary second instead of rushing from one problem to another trying to solve them all. Story 22. Go somewhere far away from all the noise in my head. Let people have what they want. Leave all the space I occupy for others. Start my life from zero, heal, cry my heart out, scream on top of a mountain like crazy until nothing inside me is left, and then go find something fun to do in a nearby village or somewhere. Story 23. I would make the idea of money completely disappear, using only bartering for goods and services. Completely clean the ocean. If you abuse anyone or cause harm to another living being, you will be severely punished, with double the punishment if you hurt children or animals. Ensure that everyone can understand and speak every language on Earth. Story 24. Road Trip. Edit. Removing all the evil and disease from the world and giving everyone warmth and happiness have already been mentioned. Story 25. Disappear from the lives of all those who knew and know me. Restart my life alone as if I am in my mid-20s. Story 26. The ability to detect corruption with complete accuracy and then emit a beam that sends fraudsters and corrupt people in power to prison. Story 27. Have everyone on the planet treat each other as they would want to be treated. This would end wars, eradicate racism and crime, have politicians actually do their jobs and serve the people rather than themselves, get society back on track, eliminate the need for the entire military-industrial complex, and free up trillions of dollars to be better spent elsewhere. Story 28. I would send a message telepathically to all humans, saying in their native tongue that their God is the one and only real God and that they were right all this time. Story 29. World peace and freedom for all, with no poverty or discrimination. Then I would buy the Mass Effect intellectual property and make an awesome game. I have the plot and some characters already figured out. Story 30. Knock a certain person over the head with a 2x4. Everything is still under investigation, so I will not comment here. I am not asking for this particular person to be fired. Retrained, supervised, and watched closely, yes. I spend my entire shift correcting their mistakes. Story 31. Honestly, I would snap my fingers and everyone, including myself, would disappear, leaving this planet to heal. We are the worst thing to ever evolve on this amazing blue marble. Story 32. Either end all the wars or magically make it so I never have to go to work again. I am typing this as I am getting ready to go to work. Story 33. I would give myself a reason to keep living, beyond duty or the desire not to hurt others. A positive reason, something that feels good, that makes me truly want to get out of bed, that makes me truly want to be here. I know this may seem selfish because I did not wish this for all humans. Now that I think about it, how about positive, pleasant reasons to keep living for everyone? Surely I am not the only one in this dark place. Story 34. End humanity. We as a civilization destroy literally everything we get our hands on, and I truly believe that this world would be better without humans. Story 35. Win a couple $100 million in the lottery, invest it, grow it to $10 billion through trading in a few weeks, then cash out, buy a house, buy a car, reduce my working hours to 4 to 5 per day, never starting before 10:30 a.m. Then relax. Story 36. First, I would do what Robin Hood did. Take every penny from every rich person that they do not need to survive and give everything to the poor. I would also ensure more people are funded to go to school and learn what they want to learn. There would be no shortage of doctors, therapists, or anything else. I would pay for everyone's education. If you have a passion, go live it. I pay. I would make sure that everyone who wants a dog or a cat gets one from the overcrowded shelters. They would also receive bigger houses and all the money they need to pay for everything. I would implant something in every human that causes a shock with excruciating pain if they try to kill someone or commit any other unacceptable acts. I would restore nature and create a piece of land that is absolutely impossible for humans to enter, no matter what. I would put all wild animals there to be free from humans and live in peace. It would be a closed-off bubble where they would not be affected by human actions on Earth. Perfect climate, always enough food and water. Story 37. End all wars and set humanity's focus on improving everyone's quality of life. Find a cure for cancer and dementia as well. Story 38. I would make it so that everyone everywhere loves and respects their neighbors near and far, ending all covetous wars. Story 39. The obvious world peace goal is every country being progressive, well-fed, and comfortable even on minimum wage. For something more personal, I would give myself some happiness or the feeling of having a purpose in life. Story 40. The power of good health and abundant energy. I am so tired of experiencing one pain or another, or feeling exhausted. Story 41. Any other time I would probably say something more meaningful, but it hurts, and I wish I could just go to the hospital and tell them to fix it. Our new insurance starts July 1st, so I do not have too much longer. Story 42. If I were omnipotent right now, I would freeze every human on Earth in their place and give a stern lecture to the lunatics who are waging war, building dictatorships, treating humans like garbage, and imprisoning them without trial. Maybe even have other people form a line to slap some sense into each and every one of them. Story 43. Speak my mind instead of being the bigger person in a few situations. Eliminate a few people who annoy me and sleep soundly. Story 44. I would make every elected official suddenly be incapable of speaking anything but the absolute truth about events past, present, and future. Story 45. I would make Star Trek-style technology a reality. It would affect and improve virtually every aspect of life. Imagine a world where any medical ailment can be cured within a day, where food and materials can be created from pure energy, and where that energy comes from the almost limitless reaction between matter and antimatter. Even entertainment would include fully realistic holograms that respond to you and create the experience of anything you want. Any book, movie, or game can be lived through as the main character or just as an observer. Now add to this ships that can travel well faster than the speed of light and transporters to get you anywhere instantly. The government would need to change too. A post-scarcity world where money is meaningless deserves a united planet with humanity's best interests at heart. God, I wish. Story 46. Be highly attractive. Create the next 3 video games I have planned. Stop feeling pain. Regain a positive mindset even though I face challenges. Story 47. Anything? Like, I become all-powerful? In that case, I think the first thing I would do is establish now as a save state with a controlling instruction that if I become unresponsive for, say, 1 billion years, I return to this point with all the knowledge I have accumulated since, or at least with the knowledge of how I reached the unresponsive state. Story 48. Power word. Health. Every disease, viral, bacterial, autoimmune, genetic, every injury, gone. The skills and knowledge to treat anything are available and widespread. Healthcare itself is free and a human right. I grew up with Trek. Let's make this a reality. Story 49. Disappear for a week to a quiet cabin in the woods. No phone, no noise, just books, good coffee, and silence. Story 50. I would gather all the world's biggest politicians, warmongers, bankers, and chief executive officers and remove them from this existence. Story 51. Replace every world leader with the right people who are intelligent and selfless. The new leaders will collaborate to make the world a better place. No more wars or excessive spending on weapons. Story 52. Clear my mind. I have brain damage from an accident, and it has left me significantly impaired in thinking, remembering, and managing everyday adult tasks. Win the super lotto jackpot. Then it would not matter if I have brain damage. Story 53. Travel, and instead of packing a bag, I would just buy new clothes and other necessary items as I went. Story 54. I thought about how I could better the lot of humanity, but it would require a lot of work. God did a poor job with unfettered free will and a narcissistic need to be worshipped, so I suppose being able to influence the minds of 8 billion people would be the power I would want. Not in a hive mind way controlling every thought, but to remove aggression, violence, greed, bigotry, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and the need for religion. I would encourage the richest 0.1% to distribute much of their wealth by building hospitals, schools, environmental projects, national parks, and similar initiatives. The money and resources devoted to defense could then be spent on universal healthcare, improved infrastructure, and housing. Achieving net zero emissions and phasing out fossil fuels would be accelerated. A basic universal income would be phased in over time so that work would be seen as vocational or supplemental to the basic income. Income tax would be phased out and taxes raised on purchases and property. Animal husbandry for meat would decline as plant-based food became more popular. The problem is that when I die, will future generations revert to being foolish? Story 55. I would work with the 3 fingers and unleash the frenzied flame to cleanse the world so that we might start anew. Story 56. I will start a non-profit organization that effectively addresses issues in housing, healthcare, and education without unnecessary bureaucracy. Story 57. There are many good options, but I will be selfish here. Put $10 million in a high-interest savings account and live off the interest. I have been working for over 30 years, and I am tired. I just want to retire, spend time at home, and not worry about the rest of the world anymore. Story 58. I would give myself the power to do anything I wanted permanently, and I would be able to do anything for the rest of time. Story 59. I would give myself $100 trillion instantly. Then I would invest it and make it grow. Apart from ending world hunger and similar issues, I would pay those who are at war to make it stop. Story 60. Place my mother in the highest-rated mental health rehabilitation center so she can recover from her psychotic break, during which she is hearing voices and seeing things. Story 61. Fast forward to Monday for my back surgery. It has been a 6-week wait, and I am just done. So much pain. The surgery will last 14 hours over the course of 2 days. I just want to get it over with. Story 62. Keep my memories but go back to the right timeline where things were not this crazy. To help the world, I would make it so that if someone abused or hurt an animal or child, what they did would materialize on their skin for everyone to see. During the time it is making itself known, they would feel all the pain they inflicted. Wow, okay, that went a little darker than I thought it would. Story 63. Pitch my portfolio of shows and movies to several streaming producers. The first project is designed to succeed based on current pilot metrics and will help me break into the industry. Story 64. Go back in time to prevent prehistoric humans from consuming hallucinogens, thereby preventing the development of religion. Story 65. Remove Donald Trump and J.D. Vance from office and put a reasonable leader in who might be from the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. It is necessary to bring civility and care for those in need back into office. Story 66. Eliminate hatred from existence. No discrimination anymore. Of course, people might find other reasons to conflict, but it would be better if no one used offensive language while doing so. Story 67. Create a solution to the world's monetary system, which is the source of many other issues being suggested here. I believe a better system that every person could benefit from equally would eliminate greed and therefore corruption, along with many other problems because we would all benefit equally. It is idealistic, I know, but I can dream. Story 68. If I had one wish this holiday season, it would be for all the children to join hands and sing together in the spirit of harmony and peace. If I had 2 wishes this holiday season, the first would be for all the children of the world to join hands and sing in the spirit of harmony and peace. The second would be for $30 million a month to be given to me tax-free in a Swiss bank account. If I had 3 wishes this holiday season, the first would be for all the children of the world to get together and sing. The second would be for $30 million every month to me. The third would be for encompassing power over every living being in the entire universe. If I had 4 wishes this holiday season, the first would be the wish about the children. The second would be for $30 million. The third would be for all the power. The fourth would be to set aside 1 month each year to have an extended 31-day experience, to be brought out slowly by Rosanna Arquette and that model Paulina. I cannot recall her last name. Of course, my lovely wife can come too, and she is behind me 100%, I guarantee it. Wait a minute, maybe the experience should be the first wish. If I made that the first wish because it could all end tomorrow, then what do you have? No, the children singing would be great, that would be nice. But wait, who am I kidding? They will not be able to get all those children together. The logistics of it are impossible. More trouble than it's worth. So we reorganize. First, the experience. Second, the power. Third, the money. Fourth, the children singing. Oh wait, I forgot about revenge against my enemies. I need revenge against all my enemies. They should perish like pigs in hell. That would be my 4th wish. And, of course, my 5th wish would be for all the children of the world to join hands and sing together in the spirit of harmony and peace. Thank you, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Story 69. Make every narcissistic individual and every genocidal maniac see themselves through the eyes of those they oppress, and develop radical empathy for them. Story 70. Bring the whole world to Jesus so that sin would have no power anymore. It would solve murder, hunger, and pain. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.